1 to 12. And we'll be staying with this one tonight as well, just moving on a few verses further to verse 20. But I need to bring these two together on the same day. That way then we can just link through with the others singularly, one a week, on the Beatitudes. But this is 1 to 12 this morning. It'd be great if you could do that.
Seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth, and he taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger, and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice, and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
It's one of those areas that I've avoided over the years. The Sermon on the Mount. It's such a challenging thing to preach, and the danger is you preach and you don't do. And that's exactly what Jesus said about the Pharisees, that you say something but you don't do it. And I've got to be very, very careful. But the Sermon on the Mount. In John, it says a little verse about the ministry of Jesus. It says, no man has seen God at any time, but the only begotten Son, in the bosom of the Father, he's declared him. And that word declared is where we get our word exegesis, is a posh one. Exegete, to unfold by teaching. You see, there are times when Jesus revealed God just standing there. He didn't have to say a word. Didn't have to say a word. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. But there are occasions when he sits down and he talks about God. And he unfolds him. You can almost hear him saying, well, I never thought of him like that before. Never entered into my mind that God would be like that. So you can imagine some of the Bible studies he would have had. And exactly the same way here, as Jesus unfolds the nature of God by his teaching, here he unfolds the nature of the disciple. He unfolds it by his teaching. I've always struggled with the Sermon on the Mount because I could never link them together. To me, I don't think they were random thoughts collected together. I think it was one complete sermon. But I've never been able to make sense of it. Yes, if I broke it down one by one, I can understand what he said. But collectively, and Jesus is always saying, he's almost the finest of chess players. He's thinking 2 moves ahead. And so he opens up different thoughts, and I've never been able to link it. Now, I may have got it wrong in the way we're going to look at it. I may have got it right. If I have, I'll hold my hands up, and you can say, Mark, that's wrong. So we're going to look at it. The title for today, The Last Shall Be First. So we're going to look at verse 10 first, before any of the others. And we find concerning this unfolding of the nature of the disciple of Jesus. I don't like to say the nature of the Christian, because Christian has got very... people got odd thoughts about what a Christian is. So if we say disciple, it takes us back to the old school. It takes us back to a disciple, a learner, and trying to listen to his master, his rabbi, his teacher. And so we're going to use that term disciple as much as I possibly can in regards to this. Now, unlike the gifts of the Spirit, we find when God distributes his gifts, they are never divided into one person. And the problem that we have with the modern church today, in one sense, and the problem that we have with some ministers today, is that all gifts have to be in one person. Now that's unbiblical. It has to be divided severally amongst the body, the gifts of the Spirit. And so it is for the church to have gifts imparted to different members throughout the whole church. But when we come to the fruit of the Spirit, when we come to the fruit of faith that Peter talks of in 2 Peter, and when we come to what Billy Graham calls not the Beatitudes, but the beautiful attitudes, he says they are not singular. They are to be in one person. They are not to have one, if you really want to push someone, go to him over there. He's very meek. Or if you want to sort out an argument, go to her over there. She's a peacemaker. No, these beautiful attitudes are to be in us. And so when we go through the 3 chapters over the coming weeks, God willing, we'll find that there will be overlaps. It's not set in concrete. There will be overlaps. There will be time when Jesus is speaking about one thing. I'll give you a perfect example. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that persecute you, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. It's exactly the same promise, and it's to the same person. It might be for different reasons, but it's the same thing. As Peter says when he talks in a wonderful chapter 1 of 2 Peter 2, or 2 Peter 1, sorry, he says this: if these things be in you and abound, they make you that you shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. But if anyone lacks these things, he or she is short-sighted, even to blindness, and has forgotten that their sins have been cleansed. They to be these attributes of God are to be in the disciple. Now, that doesn't mean that one part of these 7 attributes are, I'll leave it at 7, I'll explain why in a moment. It might mean that someone is a peacemaker more than they are hungering and thirsting for God. I don't mean that they'll all be perfectly level, going up, filling up like that all the way. There may be discrepancies. And that's for the relationship for you and God to develop so that they come up. But they will be found in all of us, these beautiful attitudes. The last time I heard this preached was in the late 80s when Pastor Cooper preached them. And he took the Sermon on the Mount. And he was blessed by God that he gave him a vision in his preparations for the studies. I always remember it, him standing up the front to say, and the vision was this: 2 men walking together, one in shining bright clothing. It's obvious who that is. You see, visions are simple. As soon as we start getting furrowed-browed, there's problems there. It's obvious who that shining, bright, garmented person is. It's Christ. And he's walking side by side with another. And as they walk together, it's not a case of holding hands that he's with us. What he saw in the vision was this: that the shining being and the one walking side by side, they came into one. Now that in vision is what Jesus taught in these chapters here. These are not steps to become a Christian. These are steps after you are a Christian. Don't try to do these things if you're not a follower or disciple of Jesus, because you'll never do them. They couldn't do the 10 Commandments. They're certainly not going to be able to do these attributes. But when we come to Christ, we are to have these things. It is to be Christ in you and you in Christ. See the doctrinal explanation of the vision? Or the vision being the visionary explanation of the doctrine? You in Christ and Christ in you. The shining being and the human being walking together and joining together. I said to Phil on Friday, I just told him about that, what Pastor Cooper saw years ago. I said, perhaps it's the word fuse. But fuse doesn't really fit into it, does it? He explained to me what it was. That means weld. It's not a case of being welded. No, he's in you. And you are in him. And so let's just have a look at this then. All begin with this first word, blessed. Blessed. Hands up those in the 60s and 70s can remember a man called Bishop Macarius. You remember him? Can you remember what he was like? Yeah. He wasn't the most expressive of people, never the most happiest of people, but that's what his name means. Blessed. As one person said to me, it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. He had a very muscular face. He never ever... Well, the funny thing is, I look back in the 60s when he always seemed to be on TV. He was a bishop in Cyprus. Bishop Macarius. It means happy. It means fortunate. In the Amplified it says, looking from the outside towards, much to be envied. And it means satisfied. Now you can choose any of those. Any of those if you like. I like happy, but then I know where happy comes from, and it comes from luck. So it doesn't really come into that, does it? The word hap and happy are linked together. I hap to come upon this by luck. No, but I still like the term happy because we understand what that is. To be happy inside, to be happy outside. Many are those that have looked at these verses and have said, it's not just a case of blessed. Jesus would have said it like this, oh, how blessed are the poor in spirit. Oh, how blessed are they that mourn. Oh, how blessed are the meek. Oh, how blessed are the hungry and thirsty after righteousness. Oh, how blessed are the merciful. Oh, how blessed are the peacemakers. Oh, how blessed are the persecuted. And so it's with that in mind, when Jesus, it seems, is speaking of it, we'll work in reverse order. Mr. Lloyd Jones, he doesn't do it the way we're going to do it. Neither does John Stott, neither does David Pawson. They all do verses 1 to 12, and then they move on through blocks of verses. We're going to try and do it just a little bit differently. If I'm wrong, my apologies. But I see a little flow to it, which allows me to understand how Jesus is going. Now, I understand whether it's true or not, I don't know. But the rabbis would often do this. They would start for their first point, which was really their last point. Now, whether that's true or what, I don't know. They would do the reverse of the Westernized preachers today. You keep your best point till last. But they would be up there in the front. Jesus, whether that's true or what, I don't know. We can put that aside, it's not important. But if you notice here, in verse 10, he says, blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. He has said it and he has written it in the third person. Blessed are they. Blessed are those. And when he starts to explain and to express, he changes when he begins to unfold what this characteristic, this attribute really means to us in daily terms of living. He goes from the third person, they, to the second person, you. And verses 11 and 12 is the explanation of the first that we're looking at. Blessed are they that are persecuted. And so we're looking at this now to see what it means. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. If these attributes, these characteristics, sums up the disciple of Jesus, which in turn, in measure, sums up the Lord Jesus himself, if these characteristics sum up him, then it's quite understandable that if they ever are present, they will produce the result that he had: persecution, suffering. And so we find here that Jesus, speaking in this concerning those that are persecuted, the first thing he begins to say concerning them is that these are where we're going to start. For he moves from the third person, they, to you. He is now speaking to those around him. He is not looking at those people, they. He is now, if he was here, he would be talking to you. Blessed are you that are persecuted for not the sake of righteousness, but for my sake. You see, his sake and the sake of righteousness is exactly the same thing. So we read here, blessed are they, or blessed are you, when men revile you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so did they to the prophets which were before you. That's his personalization of verse 10. You see, verses 3 to 9 are all attributes, characteristics. This is not an attribute to be persecuted. It is the outcome of having those others in your heart. It's not an attribute. Don't go looking for trouble. Don't go building a defensive system that you think that everyone is against you. No, it's not that at all. These things come because of what's in your heart and because of how that works its way out in daily living. And so he said, now look, there are going to be those that are going to be persecuted for the sake of righteousness. And if they've got those things that I've just spoken about in them, they will be persecuted. So I'm going to give you a warning now, he says. Blessed are you when men revile you and speak against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad. Luke, more expressive than the very formal Matthew, turns and says, rejoice and leap for joy. Leap for joy that you're being persecuted. This is not some odd. It doesn't fit in with our way of thinking of things, does it? And what I found with these is that they don't always mean what I thought they mean. They mean something completely different. I was telling Neil and Colin the other day, I had a dream on holiday. And in the dream on holiday, I won't go into the details, but it's summed up at the very end. And I was talking to someone. And the point was, what was heaven like? And I said, but what's it like? And the person retorted back to me, it's not what you think. And I said, well, do you think I'd be disappointed? No, he said. You won't be disappointed. And that's what I find in these. I'm not saying this is heaven, but it is heaven in your soul if you get these things in you. But a lot of these things are not what I think. In fact, they're the complete reverse. When it talks about the poor in spirit, when it talks about the mourning, when it talks about the meek, take that word meek. It is the complete opposite what we hold every one of us here, unless you know why they use the word, unless you know why they used it and what type of sentence they would use it in, you would think the same as me. Meekness equals weakness. Doesn't mean that at all. This is what the Greeks used it for. for a horse that had been broken in. Now, does a horse lose its strength when it's broken in? No. It's still as strong as ever. So it has nothing to do with being a pushover. And so we find out about meekness in the weeks ahead. It's not what you think. Tonight we look at the peacemaker. It's not what I think. It's complete opposite to what I thought. And as soon as you understand what the peacemaker is and what the peacemaker does, then you understand what the next verse says. Blessed are you, or they that are persecuted for the sake of righteousness. You'll understand then. This isn't what Jesus said, or what Peter says concerning Jesus. In chapter 2 of 1 Peter, to you, or to this you were called. You should follow his steps. That's the steps of our Lord. Who committed no sin, nor was deceit found in his mouth. When he was reviled, he reviled not again. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but committed himself to him who judges righteously. To him who committed no sin, nor was deceit found in his mouth. When he was reviled, he did not revile back. Think of the thief on the cross, or what they said to him, but he reviled not back. When he suffered, he did not threaten. When those nails went in, he prayed for them, not threatened them. And committed himself. In fact, he uses that term, I commit my soul unto you. And so we have Jesus there. And then if we have this nature of God, of poverty of spirit, of mourning, of meekness, of hungering and thirsting, of meekness or mercy, of peacemaking, and of this fruit of persecution, we will taste and be like him. We often say this, don't we? Oh, that I might know him and the power of his resurrection. Not very often have I preached and the fellowship of his sufferings. And so we have here, it is to this you were called, who committed no sin. Are you saying, Martin, we're going to be sinless? A day will come when we will be free. Thank God for that. But there is a nature that can come within our souls where Christ comes in and we are in him. And such beauty is found there. And so we have here. Let's have a little look at some. They're blessed for a number of reasons. They're blessed for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. That's future tense. But it also says in Peter, this is what it says here. If you are reviled for the name of Christ, in the Authorized it says happy. In the New King James it says blessed. Have what you want. You are blessed. You are happy. Why? For the Spirit of glory and of God is resting upon you. You see, heaven is soon to be yours. But heaven is already with you. The Spirit of glory and of God is resting upon you. And there's a reward that's still to come. In fact, he says, great is your reward in heaven. And so we have first here this. This is the first point, and from here that we walk up, we'll go on from. God willing, anyhow. That Jesus in verse 10 tells us that the outcome of having those beautiful attitudes in verses 3 to 9 will be a likelihood of persecution. That you will be like him. Suffering, persecuted, yet not reviling, not threatening, but committing yourself to him who judges righteously. Now I'll be honest with you, I'm a long way from there. I'm not in verse 10, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I'm in verse 3. but I'm not in verse 10. And so here Jesus slowly but surely unfolds. Tonight we'll look at the peacemaker in verse 9. And we'll start going through the chapter and we'll find out what the peacemaker is. And that will explain why there's persecution. May God grant to us a heart that can take within the Christ of God, and may we go into him as a wonderful, simplistic vision taught, two walking together, becoming one.